rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yeah. Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people, good. It's your number one Chief Rock and Knicks Universal main man, Uncle Freezy, coming through the rock the spot, man, doing the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. I'm joined by Coach. Coach, what's good, boss?
What's going on?
Chilling, man.
Another day. The summer is winding down. Unfortunately, down in Tejas, in the San Antonio area, it's still a blazing hot.
Yeah, man.
And I just got a little side-eye checking out these UFC fights on the side. You know, still always thinking about the Knicks. I made my new desktop background image, which is the 25-26 Knicks schedule.
Yeah, man.
You know,
yeah.
You know, the Knicks are always in the heart, even in the offseason. Even while I was watching my Tampa Bay Bucks backups whoop up on the Steelers.
Yeah. The Steelers deserve to be whooped up on.
Yeah. The Teddy Bridgewater sighting.
Yeah, man.
You know, he was the QB for the Bucks today. At the beginning, first drive, he scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Pretty good doggone quarterback, bro.
Yeah, you know, he's like one of those guys where he's had unfortunate injury things happen, and you know, you kind of root for a guy, you know.
Right.
Just hope for him, you know, to still live his dream and be on a team. And
yeah.
I mean, everyone wants to play, you know.
Yeah.
But one of the best gigs in the NFL is backup QB. You know, you get a lot of money.
Yeah, man, a lot of money. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody, man, on YouTube, the YouTube side, man. Salute to all y'all coming through. Salute to X that be coming through mad deep. Salute to all my people on X, everybody in the chat. Y'all buckle up, man. We about to have a conversation for the ages. I called Coach earlier, just real quick, man. I called Coach earlier and asked him if there were any unintended circumstances that may occur by us making late hires and kind of late roster moves, but mostly late hires to the coaching staff. Right. So I wanted to talk to y'all about that, chat. I want y'all's input on it. Do the Knicks have an unintended disadvantage by finishing up the coaching hire late? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Coach, your Bucks look good, bro.
Yeah, man, there's something to say about front office stability of a organization. It starts you know, when in every professional sport, when a team has some success, and then the fans start to get used to it and expect it. Those good front offices find ways to retool and reload. And
Right.
I can't complain, man. We've had one of the best GM, Mark Not like the way he's been drafting. I mean, it's you can't complain. It was such weird, to be a fan of different teams where one team that I love with all my heart, I got no homegrown draft guys to root for besides, Deuce and Mitch, this past year.
Right.
The other guys didn't even play. But
Right.
then with the Buckaroos, almost every starter on both sides of the ball except two or three we drafted ourselves. So it's like a weird anomaly.
Right.
So yeah, and as far as the coaching stuff goes, we got like 2 months till the season starts, and like I was saying to you on the phone, the coaching staffs and the players, this is the farthest they're ever going to be in the off season. Players are all the ones that aren't doing the Euro basket stuff this summer. They're all on vacation with the families and in the gym doing personal workouts and stuff. And honestly, the Knicks kind of had a little, I wouldn't say advantage, but they had a nice little bump up in, I think, rejuvenated off-season excitement as far as the players are concerned. When Mike Brown got hired and he had some personal time with each of our star players and stuff, and they all seem to respond really well to it. So,
Right.
Right now, until the wheels fall off, I'm all in with Leon Rose and this front office's decision making. If this is the time that was best for them to, I'm rolling with it for now.
Okay.
Until these past 3 or 4 years go by and we don't make the finals or win a chip, then I'll have to go back and second guess what he did, But until then, I'm the dial's moving this way, the graph is going up,
Right. Right. I don't know if there are any unintended consequences. I do have my spidey sense is tingling though.
Yeah.
Right. My spidey sense is tingling, and I'm on guard because I think something, whatever it is that happens, the excuse is going to point back to the late hiring of coaches, whether it's chemistry, not on the same page, the draft. Did we draft Mike Brown type players? Did we bring it? Did we start the off season early enough with such and such and such? I think it's all going to point back to this moment in time.
Right.
And I'm not doing the henny penny where the sky is falling because it's too early to tell whether we're going to be champs or chumps. Right. But what we can tell is the fan base is confident that the organization made all the right moves. The path is set for the Knicks to win a championship.
Right.
Chet, what do y'all think about that?
You know, and like I said, it's one of those things where I understand that it's a results business, right? But when you talk about a professional organization and there's so many moving pieces on and off the court,
Right.
on and off the bench, in and out of practice, in and out of the film room and stuff like that. And because us as a fan base, we're damaged goods, man. In the face of adversity, in the face of year after year of disappointment, we've all still look at opening day with such shining optimism. This is our year. We're going to turn it around. Like we still, and then got let down.
Let me disagree with you. Let me disagree with you there for a second. Because I think in previous years, our mindset was if things go right, if such and such happens, then we're in that place. This year, we're like, whether Halliburton was healthy or not, whether Tatum was healthy or not, we felt like the Knicks took a step towards winning the NBA title. Now, the fact that they injured or they're injured only lightens the load. Because in theory, the Knicks are one or two badly coached games in the Eastern Conference Finals away from being the NBA champs, right? The Knicks blistered the Celtics, right? Blistered them.
Right.
Beat them at their own game, all this stuff, right? And as a Knicks fan with clear eyes, right? A Knicks fan with clear eyes knows that the roster is flawed, but if they play together, right, they can beat anybody. And that, when you hear me say that, that sounds like a Knicks problem. It's not. That's an NBA championship contender problem. All NBA championship contenders feel like if they played their best basketball, they could beat anybody on any given night. And finally, we've arrived in this moment. And sure, it feels uncomfortable at times as we look back at the missteps that we made during the playoffs and all, missteps and all this stuff. The Timberwolves are thinking the same thing, right? The Celtics are thinking the same thing. Indiana is thinking the same thing. Like all the contenders out there, whoever they are, they're probably legitimately at this moment, the field went from about 7 contenders to about 5 contenders due to injury, right? The Knicks and the Cavs, you have to count the Knicks and the Cavs as championship contenders in the East. And out West, you might have 3 or 4 contenders out West. Whatever order you put them in. The Lakers feel like they're a contender every year. No?
I mean, as long as LeBron James is breathing, they're going to believe.
Human air or alien air? Because as long as he's breathing alien air, he's unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It wasn't LeBron's fault they lost.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's where I'm tying these things into, Coach. Like, Knicks fans are confident now that since the East looks weakened because of injuries, that the Knicks have a chance. I'm here to tell you, I think the Knicks had a chance. Coach, how many times have you heard me say the Knicks should be 3-time defending NBA champs right now?
Quite a few times. I just heard you say it about 20, 30 minutes ago on the phone, too.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
man. Like that's what's crazy. I believe our front office, um, has put us in a position these last 3 years to be in that conversation,
Right.
and with who we decided to bring in, the moves they made at the trade deadline, the last 2 years didn't do something this year at the trade deadline, but the bringing in the Hart, bringing in the Anunoby, every year every year the off season since 3 years ago, they've seen something we've needed and we went out and got some.
Right.
And not
Every
always
off season.
And at first, people wonder, well, why? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, people were this fan base talking smack about who's iHeart, who's Hartenstein, who's Brunson.
Right.
What the hell we get him for, And they both turned into fan favorites real quick.
I'm one of those.
I was. I mean, I wasn't sold 100% on Brunson. I knew Brunson was going to have some success here just based on when he was given some minutes and, that time when Luka went down in the playoffs and he had those coming out party games,
Right.
in the playoffs. I was like, oh, man, he might do a little something here. I didn't think he was going to be like an all-NBA guy right away. And then iHeart, I always remember for some reason that year, it was the year I'd watched the Clippers. I don't know why. I watched like 7 or 8 of their games one year. I was watching a lot of non-Knick games one year, and I kept seeing this Hartenstein guy come in the game, and I was like, man, this guy is pretty good. Why don't you play him more? Like he was catching lobs from Paul George, and it was. I was like, this dude's pretty good, and he was
this dude is pretty good.
Yeah, he was setting picks and getting rebounds, and I was like, that guy's pretty good. And then when I remember the Knicks side, I'm like, oh wow, man, I hope we can give this guy some playing time. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be what he became, but that's something I think Leon Rose and the front office they've been seeing some. I mean, let's be real. There was always rumors, and we always kind of murmured, "Oh, we like that OG Anunoby guy," but he was kind of injury prone, and he was one of those guys that he checks all the boxes, but he hasn't really had that coming out party yet,
Right.
That move was kind of like, see how that goes, and that it was cashed in real quick to be a good idea. With that month we had, and then unfortunately we got hit in the head with the injury stick.
Yeah.
But
but coach, you know what I want to share with everyone. Chat. One of the things I want to share with y'all is this. Last season, when we lost to Indiana, when Hartenstein and them was here, people say we were injury prone or we got smashed by the injury bug, right? I'm here to tell y'all that this year we were damn near abolished by the injury bug, and you didn't notice it because guys were able to step up at times and do things that were outside of what they normally did. Right? Brunson missed 15 games. Or 15? Did he miss 15 or 17? Brunson missed what, 17 games?
Yeah, 15 maybe.
So, yeah, because he qualified for game 65. Right? He played in game 65 to qualify for awards, but you can tell that man was 50%. He shouldn't even been on the floor. But he played so that he could be eligible for the postseason awards. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, and he was out there looking like a zombie. Hey, shout out to people that ever played zombies on you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say that. Shout out to those people. But he was out there looking like the zombie apocalypse. Not to mention how many games Mitchell Robinson missed, how many games Precious Achiuwa missed, how many games Landry Shamet missed, how many games Deuce McBride missed, right? When you take into account all the games that were missed, we missed a lot of games, bro. A lot of games, but it didn't hinder us like it did the year before when we didn't have the offensive firepower of guys like Karl Anthony Towns and the energy of a Cameron Payne. I'm not saying Cameron Payne was always productive, but for the first few months of the season, he was exactly what we needed. Then when his shot stopped falling and he started losing confidence in that shot, you can see it was kind of necessary. It was time for a change. So basically, ultimately, what I'm saying is the ingredients for us to win are here and always have been. Is just the chef was making Caribbean food with Italian ingredients. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yep, exactly. We had
Hey, any Caribbeans or Italians in the chat, man, salute y'all.
Yeah. We had a go-kart driver driving a Formula One car. Forgot to shift it in sixth gear.
Basically. He not downshifting into turns and accelerating out of turns.
I'm used to driving an automatic.
Yeah,
what's a clutch?
Right.
Just press the gas.
Right. Yeah. One of the things about the unintended consequences, though, thing that was on my mind is it's not installation of a playbook, right? It's not style of play, right? It's not the environment that you present, because the environment is just as important as the playbook itself. What type of work environment, Coach? You ever did the same job and then the job seems different in 3 different places? Like, you ever worked at 3 different places doing the same job, and you notice the environment that you work in has a lot to do with how you perform?
Hell yeah. Yes, sir.
That's what I think is what is a intended consequence. Because if Mike Brown has to hit the ground running, the environment might be different where if Mike Brown had a honeymoon period. Yeah, feel me? Like, y'all get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, Brown is coming in with the enthusiasm and excitement of a coach that has a weapon like Karl Anthony Towns. Right. He's actually going to unlock Towns even more than he already was unlocked last year. And we're actually going to have an offense that actually, where he doesn't just end up with the ball in situations and makes things happen. Like, things are going to be run for him and through him.
Right.
Because he was doing that with lesser post guys. I mean, Sabonis wasn't Sabonis till Mike Brown did some stuff with him. You know?
Right.
And basically, Cat, everything Sabonis can do. You know, Sabonis isn't known as the greatest defender for a center. I mean, he's technically better than Cat, I guess. But everything that Sabonis does, Cat, you know, he rebounds at a high level.
Well,
Like, Cat wasn't given an opportunity to show his passing ability as much as we know he did at times.
because we didn't have cutters.
Right. We didn't have damn cutters.
Yeah, we didn't have movement.
I can honestly see Cat averaging 4 or 5 assists a game this year. For real. Easy.
We all know he can pass out of the pivot. As a matter of fact, he's probably thrown out of the top 10 flashy passes this season for the Knicks. I bet you Cat has 7 of them.
Yes, we know Cat is better than Sabonis. Just got done saying that. He's better at everything Sabonis does, except the only push is maybe defense. Yeah, but besides that, you know, the only reason why he's even being mentioned, I'm just thinking about our head coach, who he's coached and what he's done with lesser talent.
I'm gonna just advise the chat. Just go through the Tom Thibodeau car wash and get all the tips off of you. Go through the tips car wash and it's over. The Tom Thibodeau Knicks era is over. So all the stuff we complained about in the previous years with Cat and OG and Randall and Brunson and Bridges and all that, one coach wanted to use these players a certain way. That coach is gone. A new coach is coming in we know that these players wasn't used right. Knicks knew that. The Knicks right now, yo, Kerry Cox, I'm telling you, bro, y'all got to listen to me, bro. I'm not saying that I know everything, but I do know something, right? I don't know everything, but I do know something. And the thing I do know is that in these circumstances in the playoffs, the Knicks should, man, the Miami series from 2 years ago, the year where Jimmy Butler was 65% and all they had was Gabe Vincent and Kevin Love, and y'all know we should have won that series. Y'all know that. The only reason why we didn't win it despite Tibbs, the only reason why we didn't win it despite Tom Thibodeau is Emmanuel quickly got hurt in game 4 and missed games 5 and 6. Y'all know that. If Emmanuel quickly was healthy, we'd have beat Miami in that series, right? But we didn't have Emmanuel quickly. And when we didn't have Emmanuel quickly, Tom Thibodeau chose to go Deuce McBride over Alec Burks and Evan Fournier. In a series where you desperately need 3-point shooting, you're going to go with Miles McBride over Evan Fournier and Alec Burks, who he benched during the season. If you remember the last play of the game in that Miami series, if that is indeed Evan Fournier in that spot where Josh Hart is, there's no doubt in my mind Jalen Brunson passed that ball out to Evan Fournier for 3. And I'll live with the result. Tory B in the building, salute. Like these small micro decisions is why we're having this conversation as opposed to having a celebratory conversation. Like if Tibbs had gotten all that stuff right, we wouldn't even be talking about Tibbs being gone and Mike Brown being the new coach because Tibbs would still be here.
Yeah.
All of the defined micro decisions throughout the Indiana series where the Knicks have the huge lead and Tibbs decides to go offense to try to put the foot on their throat as opposed to playing Mitchell Robinson. You're like, why is he not playing Mitch? The time clock is on our side. We have the big lead. All you need to do is win by 1. You don't need to win by 21. You need to win by 1. It's the playoffs. You don't need to send a message. You need to win. The only thing he did in game 1 of that series, game 1 against Indiana, where Indiana beat us. Y'all remember the choke? Y'all remember the choke game, right? The only thing he did right was put a switchable defense out there where Mitchell Robinson switched onto Tyrese Halliburton. And Tyrese Halliburton said his 500 Hail Marys, and he kneeled at the altar, and all praises due to whoever before that game, because that shot he hit at the buzzer. And mama, there's no way that shot should have went in. There's no way.
Shouldn't even have got to that, but I agree.
But he was playing. He had an offensive coach. I'm telling you, he had an offensive unit out there when we needed defense. This is what I'm saying. And he's a defensive-minded coach. And by the way, the offense was sucky. Why are you gonna keep a struggling offense out there instead of go?
Yeah, like that's the other thing we didn't think about. He's sitting there supposedly with an offensive unit when they're coming down and made 5 threes in a row, and we didn't answer.
None.
And missed free throws to boot.
OG Anunoby. Bro, I'm telling you. So that's why I'm saying, like, not to rehash. Listen, y'all, not to peel back scars or wounds or whatever. Not to peel back scale, whatever. However the saying go. But the reason why we're here having this conversation is because the guy before us, the guy that was here before Mike Brown, had championships in the palm of his hands, and he decided to do this. You got the championships in the palm of your hands, and you decide to do this. What?
Mm-hmm. He decided to throw a quick slant when you have Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line.
Yep. Yep. Or he decided to throw 2 fades in a corner of the end zone to Michael Crabtree on Richard Sherman, as opposed to giving the ball to Frank Gore, who got you at field position anyway.
Yeah.
Coach, you remember that? The 49ers and Ravens Super Bowl? You got Frank Gore on the 6 yard line. You're not even going to let him touch it. You're going to throw 2 fades to Michael Crabtree. To Michael Crabtree.
Yeah. My thing is, and we talked about this on the phone earlier, not only did we waste, like Jalen Brunson has had the best 3 back-to-back playoff runs for a point guard as far as the 40-point games, all that stuff. And then we had Cat, who probably had the best he had the best offensive season any Knicks player has had since Patrick Ewing was here.
Right.
And, as when it comes to points, rebounds, the whole shebang. And it was wasted. And he did that despite not being the focal point of our offense. Cat got those points and all that stuff he did because of how talented he is offensively, basically.
Yeah.
We didn't run no offense for him at all. Imagine we ran the offense through that dude, bro. It's crazy. I used to yell at the screen every game. Right. And everyone thinks that the Cat haters, they think that's Cat's decision to stand out there and wait for the ball. What do you want him to push Jalen Brunson down and yank it out of his hands?
Right.
You want Cat to dribble it up the court?
Right.
Come on, man. He's got to count on other people, count on the coach running the plays to get the ball. I just don't get it. Like
Right.
Jalen Brunson, it's gonna take even him to the next level if you run the offense through Cat, because Cat is gonna be the guy that's giving you the jabs and the body blows the whole game, scoring left, right, inside, outside, and then put us in a position where Brunson can be the closer. Like, do that final knockout punch.
Hey, and also, Coach, Jalen Brunson at one point was shooting 47% from 3 on spot ups.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can relocate and get open and somebody can find him, we have a 47% chance on knocking down a 3-pointer. How did you like Mikal Bridges' spot up 3-point shooting?
Hell yeah. Like that's it's for someone that's supposed to watch film, like our coach watched, supposedly. That should tell you that when you look at the stats and look at the film. Man, Jalen's really making a lot of those catch and shoots. Maybe we should figure something out and get him that again. You know?
I would rather him take catch and shoot threes than Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mikal is more of a transition 3-point shooter. And like he's a very streaky guy. Like there'll be a game where when he's on fire, he'll just pull up and bang them in. When he's sitting there waiting and thinking about the shot, like I don't trust it as much.
Me either.
That's kind of how Clarkson is. Clarkson's he'll pull up and just launch it. And there'll be some times where like, no, what are you doing? But then there'll be some like, oh, like he makes it, you know?
Right.
So, for me, Cat shot 42% from 3. He needs to shoot more of them. Everyone gets mad and thinks he was shooting out. He settles for outside shots. No, he doesn't. He shot I don't really look at the stats. Wasn't that the least amount of threes he shot in a season last year? I kind of want to look at that.
It felt like it, right?
Yeah. Like for him to only get 2, 3, 4 3-point shots in a game, that's wasting his talent.
Yeah. And the one thing Tom Thibodeau said, which baffled me, is this. He said, yo, I want the guys to run and I want them to get up more 3-point shots. Right. And then when the game starts, now Tibbs said this like numerous times. I can count. He said it at least 3 times during the season. We want to run. I encourage the guys to get out and run. I want them to run. I want to get up more 3-point shots. And then I watch them play, and it's the opposite. Right? Like, but the coach, let me ask you this then. Do the Knicks need another shot creator in the start with the starting unit?
Yeah, I mean, compared to who they have already.
Yeah.
I think Mikal Bridges already has that in his bag. A lot of people think shot creating is someone that takes someone off the dribble or, does the step back and jacks up a 3, But something can be said about a person that can get inside the 3-point line and spot up, get to a spot and 2-point and shoot a high percentage. That's creating your own shot.
Right.
And Mikal Bridges does that as good as anybody in the league, even last year when we were sort of disappointed in is he was one of the best at them turnaround 2-pointers, and you know he was the mini master last year. You know, and I think him and then Clarkson is going to be able to create his own. Like that's 3 players I think can create their own shots.
Right. I think you just made an excellent point at the point that you just made earlier about how in the mid-range when he could just do that turnaround jumper. When you do that turnaround jumper, fundamentally when you turn around, you have to find the rim again and put the shot up. So when you don't have to think about shooting the basketball, I think he's good. All right, like when you're constantly relocating, or if you're in one spot and you have to take what the defense give you, right? Like on some trips down, the defense is not going to leave you. They're just going to stay with you, and that forces the ball handler with the ball near the rim to create shots in another area of the floor, potentially for themselves, right? And then there'll be other trips where the same guy might be on the heater, might have hit 1, 2, 3 in a row, right? So he has to leave Mikal Bridges and go contest. And now Mikal Bridges in that same spot all night long finally gets a 3 to get to put up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Mikal is a better shooter on the move. He shoots better off the dribble than a spot up, in my opinion. It's just from what I've seen, like last year. You know, I don't think he does as well when he's standing there waiting for the ball.
Right.
He's a better in the flow of the offense shooter than wait to be the
as opposed to somebody dribble.
Yeah.
I get it. And I don't mind Jalen Brunson dribbling the air out of the basketball. Sometimes. Situationally. Right? I think OG and Mikal Bridges need to add a floater to their game.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the most part, OG Anunoby's game is all or nothing. 3 and legit dunk at the rim. Right? No in-between floater, no in-between reverse pivot, fade away, drop step. None of that. OG is 3 at the rim.
Yeah. And the thing is, he has the athleticism and physical makeup to have a complete game like that. Like, he can do everything offensively that someone like Siakam or Kawhi Leonard can do.
Right.
You know, physically. I'm saying he has the ability to be just as good as them guys complete offensively. Because he has the physical athleticism and size to do those things. He's a little awkward when he dribbles, you know. And sometimes his layup package is a little weird.
Yeah.
You know. But he can finish, you know. He did have problem finishing dunks and layups when they were contested. You know, that was another weird thing for someone that's that strong and big, you know.
But is it because he's trying to dunk everything or because he can't dunk?
I just don't think I don't think he's as comfortable athletically with the ball in his hand as he is when he doesn't have the ball in his hand, like on defense. Like on defense, we've seen him move like the Matrix, you know. But offensively, when he has the ball in his hand, it's like having a hard time, you know, dribbling and chewing gum at the same time, feeling. You know,
that's hard, bro. Once you get to be about 6'5", bro, walking and chewing bubble gum at the same time is awkward, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's got science. I think the air is thinner up there. It takes more energy to chew.
Right. But luckily, we have two offensive juggernauts in Cat and Brunson, and we don't have to count on OG and McHale to be 20-point scores every game. It'd be nice if they show up like that once in a while, and for them to have the ability like that. That's great to have in your back pocket. And the thing is, we know McHale and OG's first priority for this team, and what our need is from them is what they do on the defensive side. Any offense they give us is a bonus.
Right.
You know, that's why bringing in Clarkson and Yabusele, it takes a little bit of the offensive load. And
I keep forgetting about Nas Reed. I keep forgetting about him, bro.
yeah, like Yabusele and Clarkson take the offensive load off of McHale and OG as far as full game production.
Right.
Now when Brunson and Cat take a break, we can generate some offense still with Clarkson and Yabusele and maybe Bridges in there sometimes and Deuce, you know.
Yeah.
So like that's something that's great to have, and we can actually have OG and McHale only play 32, 33 minutes a game like normal people do. And then in the fourth quarter, if we're not already blowing teams out,
sit them.
They can sit down, or they'll have the energy because they haven't played the whole game already to get stops in the fourth quarter and not let games get away.
And then crank their minutes up in the playoffs.
Right. That's why, look, at this point with our roster creation, we're not getting somebody. For anyone that's worried about the last two roster spots, thinking that that's going to be the difference between us making the finals or not, or winning, you're just fooling yourself. Now, I think the guy we need to pick up has to be need fill. And there's no such player in the NBA that's going to check all the boxes that everyone wants to check. You can't get a bench bucket getter that can give you 16 points in the blink of an eye and expect them to be awesome on defense too. We don't need them to do that.
And a rebounder and a defender.
Right. Like Mitchell Robinson, we don't expect points from Mitch. Any points that Mitch gets is a bonus. It's awesome. He should get more points with lobs, and if they look at him once in a while, he could probably average 7, 8, 9, 10 points a game if they looked at him. You know, but they don't.
Because we have come on, man.
Yeah. So like that's why for me, at the value of the 2-point whatever vet minimum, what do we need on our bench right now? We need someone that can handle the offense, dribble, bring up the ball, and it's a great bonus if he can play defense. Well, you know what? We already got scores on the bench now. The person doesn't have to score either. And you know who checks those boxes? Ben Simmons. He can defend 5 positions. He can bring the ball up the court and distribute. We don't have to have Ben Simmons score a damn point. He does. When we have Mitch in the game, we need him for his defense and his offensive rebounding.
Right.
And any other production we get from him is a bonus. Same thing with someone like Ben Simmons. We need him to distribute the ball, be able to dribble and chew gum running up the court, which he does well.
I'm sitting down chewing, by the way, everybody.
Yeah. And not only that, he can actually rebound. I've saw him defend Jokic in the playoffs. He can defend 5 positions. That's the problem with Knicks. I said this earlier today on Ron's show. Shout out to Ron. That we're guilty of judging players based on our expectations of that player. And when they don't live up to a certain expectation or their salary value, we get disappointed or say he's trash or a bust or whatever. Ben Simmons, the number 1 pick, 10, 20, $30 million. Hell no. Hell yeah, he's a bust. I want nothing to do with him.
Right.
But for the vet minimum, the things he can provide, you got to be crazy not to take a chance on that.
Right.
We don't need him to do anything special. We wouldn't have to count on him because no pressure is on him at all. On the other teams that he's just been on recently, they were hoping he was going to rekindle some kind of remnants of a number 1 pick. Like they're hoping lightning will strike. Maybe Ben Simmons will be this again. We don't need Ben Simmons to be anybody but a ball handling guy that can defend some people for us.
Right.
That's all we need him for.
And the other thing too is, if we're looking for a higher percentage from 3, the relocation 3s and things of that sort, right? If we want to be better, a better percentage knocking down our 3-point percentage, Ben Simmons is the guy, right? But not in the sense that you think, right? Ben Simmons would be the person that creates the shot, a better shot for those guys to get clearer looks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's a very underrated thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like basically what I'm saying is when it comes to cooking, people forget about what the stove does. People think about the ingredients and all these different things, but then they forget about the stove. The stove has a job also. Right. And so when you think about it in that way, does Ben Simmons help us shoot a higher percentage from 3? Absolutely. For one, he can rebound in traffic, and he's probably one of the most athletic guys in the NBA, getting down the floor, creating spacing, creating the looks for those guys that can knock down 3. Right? The other thing, too, he gets into the teeth. He can get into the teeth of a defense whenever he wants to. And if you feel like you got to start collapsing on Ben Simmons, then he's the ideal person to spray out to 3-point shooters. Right. So when you think about when you think about Ben Simmons and what the Knicks need, you can't look at it as a 1-for-1 proposition. You have to look at it as when we bring all the ingredients together, what part plays what role, and how can they make themselves better?
Mm-hmm. I mean, this dude can still finish at the rim. He's still, even as bad as he is as a shooter, quote unquote, he's over a 55% field goal percentage guy. So when he does,
his free throws are going to be terrible, though.
Yeah, that's bad. But he ain't going to take that many shots. So,
right. That's something we can live with, though.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of production he's been getting per minute, his overall numbers aren't enough to do backflips about. You look at his numbers. But you're talking in 25 minutes to still average what, 5-6 rebounds, 5-6 assists a game still?
Yeah.
You're making an impact when you're in the game.
Yeah.
And to have a person on the floor, imagine him running with the starters, and you have Ben Simmons, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges playing defense for you, while Cat and Brunson are on the floor.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. So those are the things, we're not going to count on Ben Simmons for anything. But,
Can I point out a thing about Ben though?
Yeah.
So the thing about Ben too, and the reason why Ben Simmons hasn't signed is because he don't have to. Ben Simmons can legit sit out all the way through training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He can sit out all the way through training camp and just decide to go to a team when the preseason starts. You know why? Because if in the event that all he's going to be offered is the vet minimum, why go through training camp and have to be in a thing when you know the max you're going to get is the same thing as somebody that walks in off the street? You don't have to train with these guys. You can train on your own.
Right.
So Ben Simmons doesn't have to sign with. There's no pressure. We're turning this into the Ben Simmons summer. Right? Instead of this being the Ben Simmons summer, I think this should be, Coach, I think this should be the Cat summer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hey, Chet, anybody remember the fadeaway that Karl-Anthony Towns hit against Detroit to keep the Knicks in the game? Remember that when Jalen Duren was in that man's shirt? Anybody remember that? Anybody remember the OG Anunoby kick out to Karl-Anthony Towns where he pump faked, Euro stepped, and then sidestepped into a fadeaway dagger three against Detroit? And Cat was on the floor. Like, didn't I tell y'all to get him out of here? Didn't I tell y'all to get him out of here? He pointed at Detroit. And Ariel Porty ran all the way out there and chest bumped him in the middle of the floor. Right? Cats is like rubbing him all on the head. Like, that's the Cat we want. That's the Cat we've been waiting for. That's the Cat we've been waiting for. You know what I'm saying? Like, we act like we don't remember that, man. Come on, man. Come on. Get hype. Let's go. Coach, Coach, I'm telling you, man. Like we forget about a lot of stuff, bro. During the course of the season, you play your 82 games, you play your preseason, it's like 4 games, then you play your 14, 16 games. Bro, that's 100 games, bro. And sometimes we forget about what happened in some of these games, right?
Yeah.
Like legit, like when Precious hurt his hamstring. Remember what in game 4 of the preseason. And we were like, why Tibbs got these dudes out here? I remember that. Tom Thibodeau playing these dudes in the late in the game, in the 4th preseason game. Precious Achiuwa pulls his hamstring. And he walks towards Tibbs, and Tibbs kind of gives him like that side eye, like, uh-oh. And Tibbs tried to talk to him, and Precious walked straight by him and say nothing and went straight in the locker room. Like, Precious knew he was. I remember that.
Yep.
I remember these things. I remember when Beef Stew fouled Cat on the break and broke his finger. At the time he fouled Cat, Coach, Cat was shooting 52% from 3. Cat was shooting 52% from 3. If you don't believe, look it up for yourself. At the time that the Cat was on a breakaway by himself, Beef Stew come from out of nowhere, break the man through finger. Cat look at his father like, yeah, it's broken. You remember that? You remember that play?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at his father. He was like, it's broke. And he was waving his finger. And Tibbs was like, Hey, man, you got 9 other ones. Tory B.
Yeah, man.
SD is kicking in again. Hey, Tory B, how Mom Duke's doing? Shout out to the Bronx, New York. Shout out to the greatest borough that God ever created, the Bronx, New York. Salute to all my people in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So salute to all my people. Hey, Coach, any boroughs you want to shout out real quick?
Shout out to the Bronx when my mama was born.
Shout out to the Bronx, because if it wasn't for the Bronx, yeah, man. Shout out to the Bronx, New York. Brooklyn, where you at?
My pops was born in Queens.
Queens, New York, Inwood.
Yeah.
Right.
My son and my youngest son in a couple weeks is going to be looking for a place to live in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's an aspiring thespian. Yeah, she's going to try to live the dream, being an actor.
Right.
And he's coming to New York to do it. So yeah, man.
Hey, David Smith so mad at Tibbs, he spelled job wrong. David Smith is so mad at Tom Thibodeau, he can't even spell. Yo, David Smith probably slamming again. Yeah, Tibbs, if it wasn't for that. Yo, David Smith.
You gotta have a JIB if you're gonna be with me.
Yo. David Smith out here wilding on the keyboard, man. Tom Thibodeau got David Smith bad as hell, boy. Cat broke his hand and Tibbs ain't even sub him out the game. Yo, that's crazy.
But he'll sub him out when he
cooking
10 straight points in the first quarter, because on his notepad it says Mitchell Robinson comes in at the 8-minute mark. Yeah,
bro.
And then he didn't get the damn ball again the rest of the game. Remember that?
Bro, what did he finish with, like 14 points or something?
He finished with the 10 he scored in the first quarter.
Oh, Tom Thibodeau need to be
in the second. That was game 2 in Detroit that happened, bro.
Oh my God.
He didn't even take a shot in the second half.
Oh man. But we were in the Mike Brown era.
Yep.
So we're in the Mike Brown.
I guarantee Cat will not have a game in the second half where he doesn't shoot a shot. The only time I think that'll happen is because we'll be beating the brakes off of people. He might not play in the second half.
Right.
But,
right. Yeah, man. Salute, man. Salute to all my people, man, in the 5 boroughs. Salute to everyone that's watching us from Jamaica. In the Caribbean, we have a huge Jamaican following. Salute to our peoples watching us all around the world. The Philippines, a huge following. Korea. I see the percentages. I don't know what 0.8 means, but 0.8 of 100% is probably sounds small. Maybe that's about 20, 25 people, but salute to all of y'all that watch the channel. Salute to all of y'all that watch from all over the globe. I'm Uncle Freezy, and this is Coach Malpica, aka Big Pazam, a very talented musician and artist, diehard Knicks and Bucks fan. We here rocking the spot, man, talking about this mutually lovable topic, which is the Knicks, man. So salute to all of y'all, man, for coming through and rocking with us as we bury some pain, vent about some things, and look forward to a very positive future. I appreciate everybody. Yo, Nick Apocalypse says, salute to New Jersey. Yeah, salute to New Jersey, man. Salute Jersey City in the building. Uncle Freezy, the Jersey City representative. Van Nostrand between Ocean and MLK. I keep wanting to call it Jackson because it was the first name of it was Mahalia Jackson Ave, and then they changed it to MLK Ave. Randall representing Irvington. Salute Irvington. All the fine chicks from Irvington. Salute to y'all. Salute to all our people, man, all over from everywhere. South BX in the building. Tori B says South BX. Y'all know that's why I spent my summers. I spent like seven straight summers in the Bronx, New York, man, learning a whole lot of stuff. Like learning how to, Coach, what did we learn in the South Bronx, man? Learn how to shoot dice in the Bronx.
Okay.
Right? Learn how to chase the ladies in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Learn what fat shoelaces was in the Bronx, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like legit coming outside with regular shoelaces in your shoe wasn't it no more. You know what I'm saying? You had to get some fat shoelaces for those that remember that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, shout out, they don't get mentioned much. I don't know if we have anyone out there. We got anyone out in Staten Island?
No.
There's never any Staten Island love.
Wait a minute. Are you asking me, do I know someone in Staten Island?
No. Is anybody out in the Knicks Lawrence Tears fan burst repping Staten Island?
If so, and you in the chat, say something, yo.
Yeah, we could.
Don't just sit there and look at Coach.
My aunt, she don't live there no more, but she used to stay in. She had a little shop in New Dorp area.
Right.
Staten Island. That's that high class area.
Ooh.
Them bougie New Yorkers.
The bird. Yo, they talking about Charlotte in the chat. I was just in Charlotte, or almost in Charlotte. You can go. I was in Monroe on Monday when Coach and them was doing a live on IG. Y'all check out Coach and Triborough, the Triborough Gigolo on IG. When y'all get the opportunity to, man. They had a dope show. I hopped in for a minute, just to say hello and all that stuff, man. But salute to them. But yeah, man. There are so many positive things to talk about. One of the things offensively, I think Mike Brown is gonna do is legit play Jalen Brunson at the 2 guard a lot off the ball.
Okay. Who do you think will be in?
Bridges and Clarkson.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Brown doesn't give me the sensation that he'll play 2 Dominion guards at the same time.
Right. Oh, you mean he actually can see if something's going to work or not do that?
Test it. Yep. Pinky in the brain, bro. Pinky in the brain. That's what it, for those that don't know, man, my frustration with Mike Brown throughout his career is pinky in the brain. Like, hey, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today, boss? We're going to try to take over the world every day. This is like, and new and very creative ways too, right? Not the same old song, right? Like legit. Coach, I bought these. I got some wife beaters off Amazon, man. Like these 3X joints. Bro, it's so soft. I'm flexing, man. I went to the mailbox with my joint on, a little house shoe or whatever. Grass wet, can't go out there. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. I felt like somebody, bro. I felt like Debo or somebody. Yeah, I see y'all. Nah. Yo, can I got some of my Curry Woods? Yes. Crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah. So what do you think about Jalen Brunson playing some off ball, some shooting guard?
I think it's going to be great because I think he's a good spot up shooter. I just think it's something that the other team, they have to be aware of where he is, even when he doesn't have the ball. So that's going to open up someone like Cat, even more. Cutters. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's gonna keep him fresher, where
Right.
he's not grinding himself in the damn ground for 3.5 quarters, bringing the ball up by himself, to
Right.
where in the fourth quarter, when we need him sometimes to be the closer, he'll have the energy to do that.
Right.
It's going to make him even better to me.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Especially if it means we're playing at a faster pace.
Well, that's the thing. We're gonna play at a faster pace under Mike Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that in the press conference, what, 6 times, 7 times?
Yep.
Pointed.
I'm glad he said it too.
Yeah. Yeah. You think he said that just to satisfy Knicks fans?
No, I think he's shown he has played with pace, you know, on the teams he has. And if you look at our roster, we have a roster that can play with pace.
Yeah. I got one other thing I want to ask you before I get out of here and jump over to Echoes in Essence. Man, y'all got to check out Echo in Essence, everybody. Echo in Essence is our second channel that used to be the primary channel, but Lawrence T has outgrew it. As we go over and talk about culture, everything like relationships, jobs, music, about how y'all love the Isley Brothers and I don't know why. About stuff like why y'all love Jay Dilla and I don't get it. But Coach, one other thing that before we go,
Mm-hmm.
the Beatles are mid.
Oh, there we go.
Now I'm Coach. No, I'm trolling, right?
Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, talent wise, blah blah blah, musicality and all that, yeah, mid. But songwriting, being trailblazers, paving the way for others, doing things that other people didn't do yet. They got GOAT status on that front.
Right. Right.
And the thing is, to be an artist that came out in the mid 60s, which, let's face it, it's 60 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's 1965. There are kids today, white, black, yellow, red, that have heard the Beatles song. That's got to say something. You know, their music and songs have stood the test of time, 60 years. You know, so that says a lot.
And they're all right, bro. The Beatles are all right, bro. The Beatles are like what UFC is to combat sports. Like it's all right.
I'm watching this fight as we speak. It's the final main event.
Everybody, we're gonna get out of here because
might be a new champ.
The fight is on and all types of stuff. I'm gonna try to holler at y'all in the morning. Man, y'all come through and man, tomorrow morning, and we can just or in the morning, and we're gonna try to rock the spot again, man. Echo in Essence. Y'all see the link in the chat, man. Check it out. Help me build that channel up, man. I talk about stuff. Sometimes I talk politics. Sometimes we talk music. Sometimes we talk about stuff like being a minority in a workforce that might not accept your culture or understand how you move. We talk about fashion. We talk about relationships. We talk about stuff like having a work wife. We talking about going in over your head to buy a car so you feel like you're buying something you feel like you deserve. It's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff. Rasul, hey man, don't start the Jay Dilla. Oh boy,
Coach, keeping it real.
Here we are. Man. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. We out of here, y'all.
Peace.